Philip, do you know what?
Yeah.
You do? Oh, come on, be a bit more surprised. We're going to jump down the rabbit hole. Let's go.
Don't encourage him, Conrad.
Sorry, I'm just trying to think what answer.
We're here.
Yeah.
We're here, Conrad.
Okay.
You can stop now. Okay.
Thanks.
All right, here's my question, and it always goes without notice whatsoever to Philip. It's just a simple
We've got a
question.
guest. I'm
really.
happy if you can send to the guest first if you want to.
No. It's got to be you.
Thanks.
It's a very simple question. What makes the perfect Doctor Who companion?
Oh dear. Female in a short skirt? No, that's the dad's answer. That's what John Nathan Turner thought. Okay, perfect Doctor Who companion. I think it's changed. Actually, it's interesting. In some ways, it's become again what it started. So I think the perfect Doctor Who companion was Barbara originally. I think because you had an older Doctor. I think Susan was supposed to be a way of seeing the universe, but she just didn't work. I think, unfortunately, for whatever reason, the writers didn't know how to write for her, so she wasn't the perfect companion. I think Barbara was the perfect companion. She was the point of view the audience had. She was skeptical but caring. She was inquisitive, and she trusted the Doctor. And in the end, just wanted to be there and just enjoyed life. And I think for a long time they lost what the perfect companion looked like, and really rediscovered again. I think I'm going through some ways with Rose. Rose was again created to be someone who actually wasn't equal to the Doctor, who gave the Doctor what's for. I think Ace was a bit of an attempt to be that sort of person, but she was still a child. And I guess Ace and Rose, there wasn't much different in age, but Rose was able to stand up for herself a bit more than Ace was. The Doctor wasn't trying to manipulate her and make her terrified. So for me, perfect companion, someone who trusts the Doctor, who loves the adventure, who is confident and strong in their own right, inquisitive, and occasionally just needs to be rescued, but also can do the rescuing. So those are the sort of qualities off the top of my head I'd be looking for. And I think we have had lots of them through the way, and some have been better written than others. Some like Elizabeth Sladen. I think Sarah Jane wouldn't have been anything like as good as she would have been without an actress like Elizabeth Sladen making every line sing and taking plain lines and making them exciting. I think Graham did the same thing in the Jodie Whittaker era. Graham was spectacular with every line that he had, and no matter how bad the material was, you noticed him. But then other characters have been lucky just to have some interesting things, but often depends on the writer. I mean, Leela, amazing character on paper, works so well with, for the first 3 stories, first 4 stories in particular, and then she just became a generic, will just kind of make a scream, which Louise fought against, and so I think saved the character in some parts. Can I just say, I love all the companions. And then, in terms of audio, I mean, I think, Charlie's my favorite companion on audio, and always has been. I think Charlie was just the perfect character for the Doctor. She just created so well for Paul McGann, brilliantly played by an amazing actress in India. She had compassion and sympathy and just a joy of life. And I wanted to be there with her. So I think a good companion you want to be with them and spend time with them.
Conrad, what are your thoughts on that?
I don't think I can beat that, but I think the only thing I'd add to that, I think, is because I think like you hit a lot of the points of some of my favorite companions. Like I do genuinely, especially in classic era, love them all. For me, high points are just sort of like Barbara, Sarah Jane, obviously, Ace. I really love, and in the new series, Rose. And I would also just in an unbiased way also say Charlie. I've always said that. I think there's something about all of those people. And obviously it's the actors who have brought those actors so much to life. But I think another quality I'd add to it is sort of flexibility and adaptability with not only the Doctor, but the lead man you're playing with. You need to be, in both cases, you need to be able to understand, to step back when they're having a big, and let them have a big moment, or know when to challenge them, or know when to say, no, doctor, you're being an idiot, we're supposed to be doing this, or knowing when to sort of stand back and look pretty and ask questions. And it actually, that counts for both on screen and off screen, because as maybe we'll get into, there's an awful lot of blur between those things. So I'd say everything Philip said, and I'd say flexibility and adaptability as well.
Yeah, I agree with what you said too, Philip, particularly with Barbara, but I would also add Ian to that, because I think he balances what the companion can be for different people, because Ian was the action man. He was designed that way. Barbara was the compassionate person. So I think, yeah, they were always my favourite of the First Doctor era. Those two.
I mean, I love Ian. I love Ian as well. But I think Ian often opposes the Doctor. It's Barbara's job to be the go-between between the two of them and to bring them back together again. So yeah, but I mean, yeah, for plot wise, he's great. I mean, there's not a TV companion I don't like. So even Dodo, I think even Dodo, who gets the worst stick of anyone, I can actually see some great qualities in her, and I think in the Gunfighters, she's amazing.
I was going to say Gunfighters is top of the list for Dodo.
In the Gunfighters, just roughly treated. And there's only a couple of audio companions I just don't think works. And yeah, I mean, well, one of the non-Big Finish companions we talked about last night, which will come up sometime. Yeah, but on the whole, yeah, on the whole, they're really well written by across the board, because people know what we need, but some are able to carry a bit more with them, and that's usually through either good writing or both good writing and good performances. Some performers can just get themselves up, even with ordinary writing, but some companions just have amazing writing and amazing performances, and then they just glow. I mean, Catherine Tate's another one. I mean, she's just amazing what she can do too, and a very different sort of companion to what we were getting with Rose and Martha to start off with.
It's amazing how they got it so right with Barbara Wright and Jacqueline Hill. It's like, how could you get pretty much the best companion, arguably the best? If someone says Barbara's the best companion, you kind of can't really argue even if you don't agree. But how to get that in 60 years, how to get it so absolutely right on the first go. That's sort of astonishing how they did that.
Yeah,
and Jacqueline Hill,
and obviously viewed as being, I mean, she's amazing. Jacqueline Hill, she's just happened to be the best friend of the producer, who said, "I think Jackie would be good for this." And she didn't have to go through the whole audition process that other people went through, but just sort of pulled out through nepotism. Still paid half of what William Russell was paid, mind you. Being a woman, why would you pay the same as William Russell? But yeah, carries so much of the show for those early years, and it's just the high point for 2 years.
Perhaps my question, what makes the perfect companion, makes you think too much about looking for one or two but there are so many over the years, and it's the different relationships between the different characters that make magic. Like you referred to Sarah Jane Smith, but skipped over Jo Grant. So there's Sarah Jane is interesting because she crossed over between the more human Third Doctor and the more alien Fourth Doctor. So there's that crossover there. But throughout the Jo Grant years, we had this really warm, caring relationship. It was very human. Whereas then you go to the Fourth Doctor and Romani, you've got that almost alien relationship, which is a different dynamic once again. But then Romana decides to go and regenerate, and it becomes a lot more friendly for more reasons than one, I guess. But yeah, there are so many different dynamics for the different Doctors' personalities as well. I mean, think about Colin Baker and his personality, how he was when he first regenerated, very cold, very snappy. And then his companions throughout his time, especially Big Finish, and we haven't mentioned Evelyn yet. She's probably my favourite Big Finish companion. She brought something that really softened the Sixth Doctor to the point where he's Like, he was starting to soften. You could tell on television in Mysterious Planet, when he and Perry were really softening from that previous season. But by the time Evelyn came along, softened him right up, and then he was a different person almost within that one regeneration. He was several different people. So very interesting the way these companions can even soften a doctor. And that might have even happened with Capaldi as well. He started off very hard, and he kind of softened and was a different person again with Bill at the end. And we got all these different variations of the same Doctor. Don't know what you guys think of that.
Yeah, I think, just on your earlier point, I think in part what we like in people is of what we look for in the companion. So I do think Joe and the Third Doctor were lovely together, and I still cry at the Green Death when she leaves. But it was very much she was in a being protected relationship. He was there to protect and look after her, and that, which I think worked well. I mean, I think I probably preferred Liz Shaw, to be perfectly honest, because Liz was smart, intelligent, strong-willed, didn't need saving, where Joe did need that protection. And I think naturally John Pertwee gives that sort of protection and that hug. But why I'm more attracted to Sarah Jane Smith is because she was a lot feistier and strong and independent, which is, if I'm looking for who do I want my daughters to be, I want them to be like Sarah Jane more than Joe Grant. Now, do I love Joe Grant as companion? Yes. Do I think I love Katie Manning? I do. But in terms of who do I want my daughters to be, I'd like them to be more like Sarah Jane, or I'd like them to be more like Rose. So I guess I'm looking in terms of what are the characteristics I want to see in my daughters, and so those are sort of, I think, are the things that appeal to me the most. But yeah, you are right. The interplay with Doctor and companion is really important. And yeah, you think of Doctors, you think of the companion with them. So with the first Doctor, I think you do think of Ian and Barbara. Like, I do think they come as a set. Second Doctor's Jamie, Third Doctor's Joe, Fourth Doctor probably Sarah Jane. But then he actually has a huge bag, doesn't he? Tegan for the fifth, Perry for the sixth, Ace for the seventh. So they've all got their sets that go together, and that's they certainly do help define who the Doctor is.
And I think that's a good point, Dwayne. You said about the obviously the Doctor can change, so they're a completely different person from one to the next. But like you said, he also changes, or he or she also changes throughout their run, and also they change scene by scene, or even mid-scene they'll change. So it's like loyalty. I'd add to that, because you have to love that person, or at least be loyal to them, to deal with that level of BS on sort of, of just them being so changeable. There's going to be something at the core you believe in, because they can be a nightmare one minute and your best friend the next. So yeah, loyalty, I'd add to that.
Absolutely true. Anything left that we haven't covered on companions?
Oh, there's tons we've left that we haven't covered, but yeah, Conrad.
A great outfit, a weird outfit, a uniform. If you're rocking a uniform and you want to wear that for 3 years, you rock that. If you're fancying it, if you're from the Victorian era and you want to have a go at miniskirt, you crack on. Just wear some. If you want your dumb maths badge, kilt, just wear some mad stuff. You got the TARDIS wardrobe. You're in time and space. We wear what you freaking like. So yeah, a crazy, kooky, sometimes sexy costume.
I was going to say yes.
What we got up to in that TARDIS wardrobe room. You don't want to know the parts.
Yeah, I want to know what you were wearing later.
Don't want to know.
Yeah, because the Doctor doesn't use that wardrobe too much, although he may do soon, judging by the pictures that we've seen. So that could be interesting, an interesting change of direction. All right. I think on that note, did you want to say something else, Conrad?
No, I'm good. I'm just really excited to have done a rabbit hole. I'm thrilled. I love that. I feel like I made it.
Awesome. All right. Well, let's crawl up out of the rabbit hole. If you enjoyed what you heard in this clip from the Sirens of Audio podcast, be sure to subscribe and click that notification bell so you never miss out on another episode from us. And if you want to find out more about us, including our back catalogue of episodes, you can head over to sirensofaudio.com.